Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this lecture we are going to learn about the variable in ESQL. So when talking about the variable is of three type: normal variable, shared variable and the external variable. So these all three type of variable we are going to learn in this lecture. Okay. So we will be covering each one of them one by one. First, I will be covering you the normal variable. How can we declare the normal variable and what are the normal variable? Similarly, shared variable and the external variable. Before declaring a variable, let me tell you something. Before that, let me first create a application. Application name let me give as a okay variables in ESQL. Okay, I'm just giving the name. That's let me give like that. It will suit more properly. Variables in ESQL. Okay, and just click on next. I don't want to select any library. Just click on finish. Just create a message flow with name variables in SQL. If you want to select schema, then you can select it. Otherwise, you can keep it by default. And just click on finish. Just let me create a simple flow like we create previously using the MQ input and MQ output node. So let me, I have selected the MQ input and similarly let me select then MQ output. Let me select a compute node also. Okay, so I have selected a simple flow and let me just do like that and let me select one input queue and one output queue for the MQ output and MQ input. Let me create a queue, new queue. Okay, so let me create a queue with name something like that, orders dot in and orders dot out. And let me use the queue in output and in input. Here let me use the queue name as orders dot out, and in input let me use the queue name as a orders dot in, and let me select the parsing option as complete and input message parsing as a XML NC, and in compute node let me clear the by default code. And let me clear the jump. Okay, better to have, let me do one thing. Let me create a compute node having a schema also, so that will also suit it. Let me if see. Okay, let me delete this. Don't save. and let me create add a compute node. So I actually, there is no need to add a schema, but I want to show you something. That's the reason I am thinking to have a, okay. Let me do one thing. Let me delete this also. Let me delete this also. Don't save. Let me create from scratch. Just click on plus message flow and just give here the message flow name like that, variables in ESQL, and use this time let me use the schema because I want to show you something. That's the reason I'm using the schema. Okay. Now just click on finish. It will just like that schema will be created, under that message will be created, nothing else. I'm not creating anything rocket science. Okay. I have created a mass application. That application name given as a variables in ESQL. Under that I have created a flow. While creating a flow, we have created a schema called variables.com.variables.esql, and under that I created message flow. Okay, and let me use the queues directly and let me configure it quickly. Let me use the MQ input, MQ output, and the compute node. And let me join this, and let me give the queue name as a orders.in and parsing option as a input message parsing as a explanatory and parsing option as a complete, and input output queue as a this, and let me clear the why I have written why I have deleted the application and written the schema, because I want to save this level also. There is a schema. Once you will mention the schema, there will be a broker schema with same name it will show here. Okay. Okay, let me first clear the by default code. Okay, and let me clear this also. Okay, so that's all. So what I did, just for now let me explain you. I did nothing, but let me again explain you. Okay. Okay, why it is giving error? Okay, which is not required, but in here it created. Let me delete this one. Okay, so I created a message flow. I created a application name variables in ESQL. Under that I created a flow under a schema com dot variable dot in dot esql. I just given a schema name. Under this schema I created a flow name, message flow name, that with the variables in esql, and this is a simple message flow I've created. I created it with the MQ input node and MQ output node and one compute node. In MQ input I have mentioned the q input queue as a orders dot in to read the message from the MQ, and I have selected the input passage parsing as a parsing explanatory so that I can only parse the XML message, and I have selected the parsing timing as a complete so that I can if any parsing error happen, I can see it. Okay. Similarly, in MQ output, I have selected the queue name as a orders.out, and in compute, I just remove the by default code, nothing else. Now let's understand the thing. If you see here, if you understand this code, first it is written like that: broker schema and the schema name. After it is writing as a create compute module and the module name. Further we are doing the create function name, return boolean and returning true, and end module. So what is mean by that? First we are defining the broker schema here. So whatever the broker schema we have created here, first we are defining the broker schema here. Okay. After that, I am creating a compute module with the help of function create compute module. I am create with the help of create compute module. I am creating a compute module, and further I am ending that module. Under compute module, I am creating a function called main. This function is returning boolean data type, and the value it is returning as a true, and I am ending that function. Okay. So if you see here, there are three things involved: schema is involved, compute module is involved, and the function is involved. Okay. So what I can think like that, there are three things involved here: broker schema, compute module, and the function. So while if I need to declare any variable, I can declare it at any level. Okay. So if you will declare under if you declare anything between broker schema and compute module, it is called as a schema level. So if I will declare any variable here between broker schema and compute module, it is called schema level. If I will declare any variable between compute module and function, then it is called as a compute module level or module level. Okay. If we declare any variable inside a function, then it is called as a function level. So that's the thing. If you remember, you need to remember. So we have a 3 level currently. Okay. So anything any variable declared between a broker schema and compute module in this area, sorry, in this area, then it is called as a schema level, or in other way we can say the broker schema level. Okay. Similarly, any variable declared between the compute module and between compute module and function in this area, it is called as a compute module level, or we are simply called as a module level. Any variable we declare under a function, it is called as a function level. And okay, now coming to the accessibility. So if you will declare any variable under the function, that will be available throughout the function only. So if I will declare a variable here, it can be only accessed by the function itself. But if I will declare any variable under a module, under a compute module, so this can be accessed by a, this will be valid at module level. So this can be accessed anything you created under a module. Okay. And if you declare a variable at a schema level, it will be valid at a schema level, and anything you create under a schema, that variable can be accessed. So variable at schema level can be accessed by anything you create under a schema. Variable at module level can be accessed if anything create under a module, compute module. And variable created under a function can be accessed if whatever by a uh, function itself. Whatever you create under function can access that variable. Okay, so these are the three functions that is important, and we need to understand. These are the three level that is important, we need to understand. Okay, so that's the reason before explaining you the these all variable, my motive was to explain you the three levels. What are the three levels? Because later I will be saying you this is valid at the schema level, this is valid at module level, this is valid at function level, so you will maybe not understand. Okay, so that's the reason I was thinking to explain you. Okay, so first I have created a application with name variables in SQL. While I under that I have created a message flow variables in SQL with same name. And while creating the message flow, I just defined the schema with com.variable.in Further, I have configured this message flow simply with MQ input and MQ output and compute node. In MQ input, I just selected the same thing like that input queue and input message parsing and a parsing option. Further, I selected the output queue to send the message to output. I use the compute node. In compute node, I have written a, I have removed the by default code, and I have explained you that when initially there will be a three things involved. We have involved as a broker schema, we have involved as a compute module, and we have involved as a function. So if you want to declare a variable, you can declare a variable at three level: schema level, module level, and the function level. Anything variable creating between the compute module and schema is called schema level. Anything variable creating between the function and compute module is called module level, and anything created under a function, it is called a function level. And the variable scope are also different. If the variable is declared at schema level, so it can be accessed by anything that is declared under the schema. Similarly, at module level, if it is declared, then it can be accessed by anything that created under a module. Similarly, the function, if declared at function level, so it can be accessed at the function level itself. So it cannot be accessed if at the module level or the variable level. Okay, schema level. Okay, now that's one. Now let's go to the each one of them and explain it. Okay, so let's first go to the normal variable. When talking about the normal variable, this thing I don't need to explain you, because this variable you have already learned that. Okay, so now as name suggests, normal variable, so it is the variable that is not special. Okay, not special, that we are going to learn. Okay, this whatever the variable we have learned till now, whatever the like the boolean, date and time, numeric, reference, row and string, whatever the variable we have learned till now, that is the normal variable. The same thing I have written here: whatever the variable we have learned till now is the normal variable, and it can be declared at any level. So that's the thing important. If you are declaring any type of this variable like that, boolean, date and time, numeric and reference, row and string, on apart from any variable, if you want to declare that is a normal variable. So how can we understand this variable is a normal variable and this variable is a shared variable? Okay, and this variable is external variable. Why declaring a variable? While declare because this is written in the IBM documentation. While declaring a variable, if you are mentioning using the shared keyword, or if you are using the external keyword, then that variable is called the external variable or shared variable. But if you are not using anything like that, if simply if you are writing like that, suppose declare inref numeric. Okay, declare sorry, declare inref reference to something, declare row var row. Okay, so that's variable is called the normal variable. But if you see, if you in same, if you mention like that, declare row var row, and something like that, let me just give me 1 minute. Okay, declare row var and say what is it, declare row var shared and row. Okay, if you will mention the shared keyword, similarly declare int var uh, external and numeric. So that will basically tell you, okay, this is external variable. So if especially if you mention the external keyword, and if you especially mentioning the shared keyword while declaring a variable, that variable is referred as a shared variable or the external variable. If there is no shared or external keyword is mentioning while declaring a variable, that variable is called non-normal variable. So I hope you have understand the what's the difference between the shared variable and normal variable and external variable. So let's first focus on the normal variable. Whatever the variable we learned till now is the normal variable. Okay, so example like that boolean, few of the example I've given: boolean, date and time, numeric, reference, row and string. Okay, and if you want to differentiate between the normal variable and shared and external variable, so the variable, while declaring a variable, the variable, if we are using a shared keyword, that variable is called a shared variable. While declaring a variable, if we are using the external keyword, then that variable is called a external variable. And while declaring a variable, if we are not using anything, then it is called a normal variable. Okay, when talking about the life of the normal variable have a lifetime of just one message passing through the node, and they are visible to that message only. Okay, so lifetime is just like that. Suppose when we execute that flow, and when the flow completed, the lifetime got ended. Okay, so lifetime of is just one message passing through the node. Okay, so there is no long lifetime for the normal variable. Okay, so let me declare a small normal variable for you, and let me show you. Okay, suppose I want to declare a variable. Let me declare a variable. Declare char var and a character. So I just declare a variable with name char var, which is a character type. Okay, now let me set a value under that. Set char var equal to, and let me fetch some value from input. So let me select this value. Okay, I want to send this to char var. Okay, so suppose input root dot xml dot, what is that, youtube dot channel name dot channel name. Okay, so I am just using the this as a character message, and I am setting under the char var. Okay, let me deploy the solution. Before that, let me build and save the bar file. So this is called a normal variable. Okay, before saving building save the bar file, let me, okay, just let me select the application. Okay, variables in SQL. Okay, build and save or done. Before that, let me show you and tell you. Okay, so this is called the normal variable, where declare char var with character is called normal variable. This can be declared at a here at this, when I am declaring this this here, it is called as a function level. When I am declaring this as here, it is called a module level. When I am declaring this as a here, then it is called a schema level. So this normal variable can be declared at any level. Either you can declare at a schema level, or you can declare this as a module level, or you can declare this as a function level. It is up to you where you want to use. While if when talking about the other like that external variable. So if you mentioning here as a shared, if I will mention here as a shared, then it will become as a shared variable, and if I will mention here as a external, then it will become external variable. So that's the difference between the normal variable and the shared variable. And the so if external keyword is mentioned in a while declaring the variable, that variable become the external variable. If shared keyword is mentioned, then it will become the shared variable, and if nothing is mentioned, then it will become the normal variable. Okay, so you can declare at any level, but for now let me declare it a function level itself, because it is not mandatory to declare this at a schema level. Now let me deploy the solution and let me test it. Okay, so let me deploy it successfully. Let me hit the flow. Before hitting, let me select the message, and let me also queue name, what are the queue name I'm using. Let me just, okay, here is the queue name, that's orders dot in. Let me select the input message as a YouTube. Okay, I'm selecting this as input message, and before that, let me launch the debugger. Debugger will launch, and also let me do one thing. Let me add a breakpoint, and let me hit the flow now. So flow has been executed. Now it came into debug mode. Now it came here. If you see, let me go inside the compute node. I declared a variable. Currently there is no value assigned against variable. Once I execute this one, you can see the what is the value against assigned against the variable. The value assigned against a variable is learn and pass official, and this is the same value that I have sent, that is learn and pass official. Okay, and when I will execute, when I will end this flow, you can see the variable has deleted, variable is not exist. Okay, so similarly, if I again I will resend this flow, and you can see it is again variable is getting declared from beginning, and currently again there is no value. Again I am sending the value. So life of this variable is till this message flow itself. Okay, so that's the thing. So normal variable have a lifetime of just one message passing through the node. Okay, so if this message will be pass, if this message will pass through this node, then life will got end. Okay, so that's the thing you need to remember, and they are visible to that message only. Okay, so you can see if I will declare, again it will become value will set. Again if I will move forward, you can see variable got deleted. And so life is just till the just to that node itself, and once you move out of that node, the life will got end. Okay, so lifetime of normal variable of just one message passing through a node. Okay, so it will be not like that, that if you store something inside a variable, so it will store for a longer time. So it is not like that. Okay, so I hope you have understand the normal variable. So we have seen the what are the different level of schema, what are different level of level, and how what's the difference between the normal variable and the shared variable and the external variable. And also we have seen how can we uh, so till now we have seen about the normal variable, although it was not necessary to explain you the normal variable, because this variable we have already seen in very detail. But let me I was thinking to explain you little bit about the normal variable. So I tried to explain you, and I hope you have understand it. Okay. Now let's move to the next variable, that is the shared variable. When talking about the shared variable can be used to implement an in-memory cache in the message flow. So shared variable are declared using the keyword shared that I already explained you. This can be of any type. It can be a character, it can be int, it can be a row, it can be a reference. Okay, so this shared variable is used to implement an in-memory cache in the message flow. Shared variable is declared with the shared keyword. It can be of any data type. It it can be declared at module and schema level but cannot be declared at a function level. Whatever we store in shared variable, it will store temporarily in the cache memory until we refresh the execution group or application or the application flow. Store until we redeploy or reload the flow. Okay, so that's all about the shared variable. I hope maybe many people will not understand if they are what I told, if they are new to the IBM ACE or IIB. So it is better to have, let's go to the toolkit and explain him. Okay. When talking about the shared variable, let me clear this normal variable. And when talking about the shared variable, this is declared with the help of keyword called shared. So if I want to declare any variable at, let's suppose I want to declare a variable, declare, suppose declare char var, and each is of shared type and each is of character. So that can be declared using the shared keyword. Okay, so if to declare a variable with shared type, then you have to mention the shared before the data type. So what I am doing here, I am just declaring with the help of declare keyword. I am just declaring a variable with variable name char var. Okay, further what I am doing here, I am using the shared keyword before the data type, that is data type is character. Okay, so I am just declaring a variable with char var which is of shared type, and variable type is the character, data type is a character. Now this shared variable can be declared, either you can declare it as a schema level or you can declare it as a module level. This cannot be declared at this function level. So that's point to remember, either you can declare here or you can declare here, but you cannot declare module level, function level. Okay, so let me declare this as a schema level. Okay, now if I want to set some value against it, suppose I want to set char var equal to Rishu Kumar Tiwari. I'm just setting my name to show you. Okay, what error is giving? Okay, I am using the capital letter, that's giving error. Okay, so I just declared a variable which name char var, which is of character type and shared variable, and I am just setting the value as a my name, that is Ishu Kumar Tiwari. Okay, now why the what's the difference between this normal variable and shared variable? So whatever the value you will store under a shared variable, it will store until until it will store until you uh, you can see here already written. So whatever you store in shared variable, it will store temporarily in form of cache until we refresh the execution group application. And so whatever you store under a shared variable, this is the variable created with the type shared. So this variable is not a normal variable. This is variable is of type shared, and the speciality of this variable is that it store the information in form of cache. Okay, cache is nothing. If I say, if someone say me what is cache, cache is a space where which is taking some memory and to store information. So cache is a type of memory which is taking some information, some space to store information. So so in a shared variable use cache to store information. So to if you want to read if you want to um, what I said it, just let me do not do like that. Let me do one thing. Let me again do like this. Suppose input root dot, I want to show you something different. Okay, and let me do youtube dot channel name. Okay, and let me directly execute the flow, so it will be better to show you rather than explaining the concept. So now it's done. Now let me do the thing. Let me deployed already successfully. Let me hit the flow. Okay, flow executed. You can see currently I am sending. Let me go inside here. You can see. Okay, I did one thing wrong. Let me do the thing. Let me stop this and start this again. And let me hit the flow. If you see here, I have declared a currently a variable which is of char var, and currently which is of share type. Currently there is no value stored against this variable, right? For now I am storing the value input root.xml is the youtube the channel name, and if you go here you can see the information is learn and pass official. So what I am doing here, I am storing a value input root dot xmlnsc dot youtube dot channel name, that is the learn and pass official. I am storing under the variable char var. Okay, let me store it. Okay, value has been stored. Let me move forward. Now let me again, next time let me send some difference information. Let me send the only learn and pass, and let's see what is happening, whether I am able to send, I am able to uh, send. It came here, and if you see here, currently I am sending the value, learn and pass. And ideally, if I am declaring a variable, value should be blank, but it is still storing the older information that we have initialized first time. Okay, so whatever you initialize first time, when the message flow execute, that value will be stored into the shared variable in form of cache. Okay, and if you still again you execute the flow, again if I will again execute the flow, every time it will not clear. Again if I will execute the flow, you can see the same information. You can see still the whatever the information is, it is present. Okay, so it is stored in form of cache. So how can we clear the cache? Before clearing the cache, I want to clear this video.